Whether you're a beginning gardener or an experienced gardener, books are always great fun to look at and a good source of information. Now this is part of an entire encyclopedia of gardening, Taylor's Guide. This one is on bulbs. They also have them on roses, shrubs, flowers, all kinds of things. If you're into Chinese vegetables, this is a good reference. Grow Your Own Chinese Vegetables. This book has everything from A to Z, and we're starting to show a lot of Chinese vegetables on Oklahoma Gardening. This might be a good reference for you. Now, if you are receiving a lot of gift plants this holiday season, or if you've been in the hospital recently and received a lot, you might want to try this book, Keeping Your Gift Plants Thriving. If you're a gardener with a sense of humor, this book is for you. I have this one at home in my own library. It's a gardener's dictionary, and it has some very humorous definitions in it that I think will keep you laughing through the hottest of seasons. Now, Lady Bird Johnson recently has written a book on wildflowers, and there's a lot of interest increasing in wildflowers as we try to develop some more carefree gardens. And this might be a good book for you. Now this book, Blue Corn and Square Tomatoes, has some really interesting lore, some trivia, some interesting history on vegetables. It'd be a good one if you're a gardener that enjoys history and reading about the origins of certain industries in this country having to do with vegetable production. Last of all, there's some really good videos on the market. Anything from the gardening videos on into other types as well that you can put in your VCR and see exactly how to do certain gardening jobs that need doing without having to sit down and leaf through a book. So there's a lot of good reference material that you might want to look into for gardeners. And from here, let's go look at some bird feeders. If looking at all those gardening books has you frustrated because you can't get out in the yard and do much right now, you might focus on the birds out in your garden. It's a good time to buy some bird seed. That makes a great gift for the gardener because that's the type of thing that we run out of through the winter time. And here's a handy idea. It's a bird feed scoop. It has a lever on the bottom, so once you scoop up your bird feed, you open the lever and the bird seed comes out through the hollow handle and you can funnel it right into your bird feeder. Real handy gadget, good stocking stuffer. Now suet is a good food for birds through the winter. It'll give them plenty of energy. You can buy a suet feeder, replacement cake to go in it, or here's a suet peanut ball for a little variety. Now out in the bird bath, you want to keep that water from freezing through the winter, especially if you all live out in the Panhandle where it is extremely cold through the winter compared to southeast Oklahoma. Here's a bird bath heater. That'll keep that water from icing over, give the birds plenty of moisture through the winter. Now, if you're considering bird feeders, there are many, many different kinds. As you know, in the summertime we have hummingbirds in our gardens, and now might be a good time to buy a hummingbird feeder as a Christmas gift. Save it up, you'll have it next summer, and in some places they're even on sale right now, so it'd be a good time to stock up on that. Now for feeding our other birds in the winter time, squirrels are always a problem. And here's a squirrel baffle. It's a plastic dome that hooks onto the top of your bird feeder, and when the squirrel climbs on top of it, he can't get to the feeder down below. Another seed-saving item is a seed catch tray to attach to the bottom of the bird feeder. As the birds knock seed out of the holes, it'll drop onto the tray and not be wasted on the ground down underneath. Now, if you're wanting to feed thistle to your birds, make sure you get just a thistle feeder. This one has very small holes in it, so the birds can only get 1 or 2 thistle seeds out at a time and they won't be wasted. However, it does have a catch tray down beneath to catch any extra seed that might get away. There are a lot of different bird feeders. Bird houses are also a good gift for Christmas. Last of all, if you consider squirrels your friend, you can feed them too. This is sort of a novelty item that's new out this year. It's a squirrel feeder. Comes complete with a spike to put an ear of field corn on. It turns around so the squirrel can get to it. There's even a chair for him to sit on. So from the sublime to the ridiculous in bird feeding and animal feeding appliances. Well, I've got a few more gardening items I want to show you, things that will make your yard and garden easier to live in. Well, my friend there in the hammock is sure taking it easy, and here are a few more holiday gift ideas for your gardener that will help them have an easier time too. This is an apple peeler, parer, slicer, corer, you name it. You put the apple on the skewer, crank it through the blade, it peels the skin off, slices up the apple, and cores it all at the same time. And that'll make a quicker job of making apple pies and applesauce. Now over here, this is a collapsible cart. It folds up and puts it and can be easily stored away once you're done using it, and holds up to 300 pounds, I understand. Down here, if you're planning on having any garden parties outside next year and you're worried about insects, a set of citronella candles are always a good gift for the gardener. They'll keep some of the mosquitoes away and make for a nicer garden party. Now, if your gardener comes in muddy and messy after they use that shower we showed you earlier, you could talk them into using the Texas boot scraper. This will scrape that extra mud off their boots before they track it into the house. And then, how about a decorative doormat for wiping their feet? These usually come in several different prints. In fact, I understand some companies offer them with your name on them as well. Well, if you're an indoor gardener, there are a lot of other gift ideas as well. A basket such as this is always welcome, something to hold a larger pot. Down here is a plant caddy that rolls around and will help make an easier job of moving heavy plants. And here I've got some plant saucers. This one's just thin plastic. A collection of those are always handy for catching water. And if you're worried about wood furniture and condensation from houseplants, you might try one of these cork plant coasters. They're really handy. They have a hard backing so they won't leak water. Then down here, I have a pot that will catch water in a clear receptacle down below it and has a pipe running up the center that makes it a self-watering pot. And then many garden centers carry a very nice collection of terracotta and ceramic cache pots or pot covers that you can put over an existing plant in a pot and make it more decorative for the home. Baskets are always a welcome item for gardeners, whether it's for carrying houseplants or carrying cut flowers in from the garden.